The Ancient Accounts of the Adamic Age Part 2. The Ethiopian Book of Jubilees states that Adam and Eve spent 7 years in the Garden of Eden before the fall. During this time, it was common for animals to speak, and all shared the same language. After the fall, the mouths of all beasts, cattle, and birds were closed, and they could no longer speak. Upon leaving the garden, Adam offered an offering to the Lord, and they settled in the land of Elda. According to Jasher, Cain used the iron part of his plowing instrument to strike and kill his brother Abel. This suggests that the knowledge of iron existed when Cain was in his early 30s. The Ethiopian Book of Jubilees also mentions that Adam and Eve had a daughter named Awan, born after Abel. The chart shows the estimated ages of Adam's family at the time of the first murder, year 99 AM. Cain and Awan were married before Abel's murder. Adam and Eve mourned Abel for 28 years, suggesting Abel was 28 when he died. Later, Seth and Azurah, Adam and Eve's second son and daughter, also married.
I join my life to yours, Azurah.
And I to yours, Seth, forevermore.
This timeline, according to the Ethiopian Jubilees, shows key events in the Adamic Age, from Adam's creation in year 1 to the birth of 9 additional sons after year 235. Cain's city, named Enoch, the first recorded city, may be Eridu, though its founding dates differ by 400 years. Eridu, founded circa 5400 BCE in Sumer, is often considered the first city in recorded history. The Eridu Genesis, a Sumerian myth from 2300–2100 BCE, tells of a divine flood and is the earliest known flood story. This flood may correspond to Enosh's flood, which destroyed 1/3 of the inhabited earth. In the year 235 AM, Seth's son Enosh was born. During his time, men began to multiply, sin against the Lord, and serve other gods, leading to idolatry and divine consequences like a flood and famine. Enosh, born in 3526 BCE, was the son of Seth. His name means person or people, reflecting the increasing population. He lived 905 years, dying in 2621 BCE. The people asked Enosh to demonstrate how Adam was created. He formed a man from dirt, and an evil spirit brought it to life. The people then declared this golem as their god. The consequences of their actions were fourfold. Mountains became rocky, the deceased began to rot, people's faces resembled apes, and they became susceptible to demons. Witchcraft also became widespread.
So as we close out part 2 of the Adamic Age, what should be clear by now is that the early world was anything but simple. What we see instead is an ancient humanity that was intellectually advanced, spiritually aware, and deeply entangled with both divine and corrupt forces. In part 1, we've traced how language preserves memory, from Chinese characters that echo Genesis, to a time when humanity and even animals shared one tongue. We explored how knowledge was passed down through sacred objects like staffs, through written tablets of stone, and through chosen figures entrusted with wisdom and authority. Here in part 2, we looked at Cain not just as a murderer, but as a city builder in a world that already understood metallurgy and organized civilization. We examined Canaan as a ruler whose wisdom extended into spiritual realms, and Enosh as the turning point. When advanced knowledge was misused, idolatry emerged, and humanity began to challenge God's sovereignty itself. We saw how ancient flood traditions appear outside the Bible, possibly pointing to regional judgments before Noah, and how figures like Enoch stand at the center of sacred geography, moving history from Eden to the Mount of the East, to Sinai, and ultimately toward Zion. By the time Adam dies and is buried, the Adamic Age closes not in ignorance, but in consequence. This era sets the stage for everything that follows: the Watchers, the corruption of flesh, the flood, and the reshaping of the world. And we are not done. In part 3, we're going to move fully into the pre-flood world, the descent of the Watchers, the escalation of corruption, and the events that make Noah's flood not just inevitable, but necessary. So if this series is expanding how you understand Genesis, ancient history, and humanity's earliest days, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay with me for part 3 of the Adamic Age. Because once you see how far humanity had fallen, the flood stops being a mystery and starts making sense.